Now listen, this is what Soundboks wants you to know. This is the loudest, most rugged, portable Bluetooth speaker on the market with the longest lasting battery life. But is there more to it than that? Y'all stick around, let's find out. Before we go any further, guys, please like the video and subscribe to the channel, and let's get started. So we've got the Soundboks Go here. And as Soundboks says, this thing is loud, and it is super rugged, and the battery life is great. But there's a whole lot of things that we need to talk about before you decide to spend your that's right, $700 on this guy here. So what do we need to talk about? This thing is built like a tank. This thing has a composite box to it and grill that they say are undentable, which, yeah, you're not gonna dent it. If anything, you would break it. But I imagine I can park my dually on top of this thing and it'll be okay. It is solid as a rock. The grill is really good looking, this honeycomb grill. And behind this grill, we have one 10-inch driver and one dome 1-inch silk tweeter. What makes this Soundboks hard to beat is this right here. This thing's got a removable battery. And in fact, when I bought it, it came with a free battery, and I just bought it last week. Now, these batteries are $150 a piece. And if you have a Soundboks already and looking for a second battery, this is kind of a good way to get one. So now I've got an extra battery, but this right here is the key. This speaker will not die because the battery dies. It's easy enough to change out. We can buy another battery. Now, it does just have this single 3.5 millimeter jack input. Other than that, there's no other inputs on this thing, and it's very, very simple to operate. Now, it does have a rubber silicone bumper all the way around both corners. You can stand it up, lay it down. It's not gonna get scratched up, not gonna get banged up. It is IP65 rated. Awesome. We can spray this thing down with a water hose, no big deal. You can't go throw it in your pool, though. I wouldn't suggest that. As far as controls go, it's super, super easy. You've got the volume button. You press and hold, and it powers up, and then we can adjust our volume, and it does go to 11. And then we also have our host and join mode. So is this thing worth $700? If you compare it to, let's say, a JBL boombox, it's a couple of $100 more. You'll be looking at $500 for the JBL boombox. And in my opinion, it's not nearly as rugged, nor does it go as loud. There's one thing Soundboks says about this thing, and we're gonna test it here shortly, is it goes extremely loud. With that being said, the sound quality of this thing will not keep up with a Soundboks Generation 3. It just won't. You can run a Soundboks Generation 3 wide open for hours on end with beautiful sound. This thing is not gonna have that beautiful sound. It sounds good, but it doesn't sound amazing. The bass in this thing is very punchy. It will not sustain a long bass note. It's really punchy, so you hear that first punch of bass, but then it kind of falls off after because it's using this speaker for the little mids it does have. Through its wizardry, it has to back that bass down so it can still play music. If you understand what I'm saying. It may be a complicated way to say it. But through its wizardry, it does produce quite a bit of bass, but not very low, heart-pounding bass. It does make a poppy bass, a punchy bass, and the highs on this thing are screaming loud. And so that is the caveat to having this speaker. It's got a driver and a tweeter, and that's it. The mids just kind of disappear in all of it. So you'll always be able to hear the vocals coming out of this driver, and they are screaming loud, and you'll be able to hear that punchy bass. So to a casual listener in a party environment, it's really gonna do exactly what it's supposed to do. You'll be able to turn it up, everybody will be able to hear it and enjoy the music. Now, if you're an audiophile looking for the best sounding Bluetooth speaker on the market, I'm gonna tell you, this ain't it. But it does go extremely, extremely loud. I'm gonna go ahead and start this song, and I'm gonna let it play through its entirety and see the decibels we get out of this thing. Now, I'm not gonna put you through this thing screaming wide open in this little bitty room because it's obnoxious and it hurts my ears, to be quite honest with you. But after we find out the decibels on it, I'll show them to you, and then I will give you guys a a demonstration of the sound, I'll play the song all the way through at 50% volume, maybe 60, and you can really get a good idea of what this thing sounds like. So let's go ahead and go with it. Whew, I'm not looking forward to this. It's gonna get loud in here. I'm not even gonna let that song finish playing at full volume in the studio. It's screaming loud. We got a max decibel reading. I don't know if you guys can see it. 131.4 decibels. When I tell you this thing screams, it really screams. And for most people, that's gonna be what they want out of a speaker like this. It's just if you're coming from the bigger Soundboks, I don't want people to be disappointed in the way this thing sounds. When I took this thing out of the box before I upgraded the software and everything, I was ready to put it back in the box. It sounded like I had a problem with it. I would turn it up and it was screechy and just, I was ready to put it back in the box. But after I upgraded it, and there was 2 upgrades to go through, after I did that, and they took some time, a couple of hours, then it finally sounded much better. And now I've been listening to it now for almost a week. And I've really come to like it quite a bit, especially if you've already got the Generation 3. So what I'm gonna do now, I'm gonna set it to about 60% volume, and I'm gonna go ahead and let a song play. Feel free to fast forward it if you want, but here we go. Let me get it set up. I hope that was a good representation for you of what this thing does sound like. I hope you were listening to it through a stereo system or some earphones or something. Like I said before, it sounds good. It does not sound amazing. It's a little hollow where it's got a lot of high end, and it's got the punchy bass down low, and it doesn't have a whole lot of mids. So, like I said, people will be able to hear this thing from a long ways off. And if that's what you're looking for, this is perfect. It's a really good size to carry around. It's 18 inches by 10 inches by 12, and it weighs about 20 pounds. Now, you can buy a shoulder strap for it from Soundboks for like $60. And I thought I was going to get around that, and I bought a cheap strap for it. And this thing's a little heavy and expensive to be carried around on a cheap strap. So I did go ahead and purchase the one from Soundboks, and it'll be coming in later. But anyway, this Soundboks, if you already have a Soundboks, if you have a battery already, to me, it is worth it. I like to have sound when I go places, and I want everybody to be able to hear it. And this thing, everybody will be able to hear. You know, if you're used to, let's say something like this, and that's all you got, and you're looking to upgrade something that's a little louder, this is going to be a good way to do it. These little speakers just obviously can't put out the sound something like this well. Now, if you have the Soundboks Gen 3, and you're thinking you're going to be able to buy this and carry it instead of your Soundboks 3 and have the sound that you're used to, that's just not going to happen. Would I go purchase this if I didn't have a Soundboks? If it didn't come with the free battery even, I'm not sure I could justify spending $700 on this thing. But if you can get it with a free battery, that's $150. So you take that off and you're looking at $550. Now it's pretty closely matched to these low JBL speakers and whatnot, where this thing is going to go a whole lot louder. It's not going to sound any better, but it's going to go a whole lot louder. Guys, and I hope that does it for you. I hope I answered some questions about the Soundboks Go. I like it. It's not the best speaker I've ever heard, but I'm certainly going to enjoy using it, and I will carry it with me just about everywhere I go. Guys, I hope you liked the video. And until next time, I'll see y'all on Everyday Man.